Go.
Okay, folks, class number 4 focuses on lane changing. Anytime you do a lane change, you can make it really simple by just remembering the smog technique. Always signal ahead of time, check your mirrors, check your blind spot over your shoulder, make sure it's safe before you go. When you're going from right to left, you're going to be looking in your left side view mirror and then looking over your left shoulder. When you're going from left to right, you'll look in your right side view mirror and then look over your right shoulder. So to complete a proper lane change, first thing, always try to maintain your speed. You don't want to slow down to change lanes. Then make sure that you signal your intentions, check your rear view and your left side view mirror, then check over your shoulder and gradually move into the lane. Always try to make the motion into the lane without aggressively steering into the lane. You're making a left turn at the light. As we approach the traffic light, always watch the lane. The arrow indicates we can only turn left. There's a car straight ahead of us that's also turning left, but there could be somebody behind him that's going straight, and that's the one we want to wait for. Now that we see it's clear, we aim the car into the left-hand lane. And then we can change lanes from left to right by signaling, checking, and gradually moving into the lane. You don't want to steer sharply into the lane. You just want to glide into the lane. Always trying to maintain the proper speed, noticing that just about everyone around us is going well over the proper speed limit. Signal, make sure it's safe, and move over. Also, many cars have the monitors that tell you that there are cars that are in your blind spots. Again, it's not something we rely on. While it is good to have that feature and to know if someone is in your blind spot, don't ever use just the mirror. Make sure you check your blind spot. Always look well ahead. Why is that truck so far forward when the sign says stop here on red? If you pass the sign that says stop here on red and the light changes, you need to keep going, because otherwise, in that particular case, you'd be totally blocking the fire department. Again, we change lanes gradually. Notice how when changing lanes, you only move the wheel an inch or two. You don't need to move the wheel a lot to change lanes. Again, watching the steering wheel, notice how the wheel is only moved about an inch to be able to change lanes. As we look ahead, we see the traffic light with the green arrow. That allows us to continue our turn. Signs telling us that the road is narrowing. So we need to move over from right to left, as there were arrows in the road as well. When there are signs telling us that the lanes are ending, that is a very popular sign on a road test. The road tests here, especially on Long Island, do not require any type of highway driving. So they have to be able to see what type of driver you are, as far as just being able to merge properly. So there will be signs saying right lane ends or left lane ends. And if you're in the lane that's ending, it's your responsibility to merge from the lane that's ending to the lane that's continuing. If you don't merge correctly, there's a very good chance you will not pass your road test. Doesn't matter how you parallel park. If you don't merge correctly, there's a very good chance you will not pass your road test. We'll be talking a lot more about road tests in future classes. We'll even be doing practice road tests, so you're prepared for what you may have ahead of you. matter where you go, there's always going to be signs. You've got to be aware of the signs. You've got to be aware that people don't like to stop for signs. It could take an extra second or two for you to get through an intersection, but as long as you get through safely, that's really all that matters. Approaching the light to make a right turn, and there's a sign that says no turn on red when pedestrians are present. So as long as there are no pedestrians present, a right on red would be possible at a traffic light like that. Back to our lane change. Let me show you what some people do when changing lanes. They steer into the lane, which is not safe at all. You want to make sure that all you do, once again, is just glide into the lane. Told you it wasn't safe. As we look ahead, we see what they call lane usage signs up above. The right lane goes straight and turns right, and the left lane goes left and goes straight. The green turn arrow, it's what they call a protected light, where no other cars should be moving. Doesn't mean that there are not going to be any cars moving, but no other cars should be moving. Again, changing lanes, just glide into the lane. You don't want to feel like you're changing lanes. making the left at this particular light, we need to immediately get over to the right. So this is one where we just might not bother to go in the left lane. We're just going to go into the right lane so that way we can take the curve to the right around the Walgreens drugstore. To go in the left lane and then into the right lane could be more dangerous than just going into the right lane, because you know that the car behind you is going to do the same thing. So it's safer just to jump to the left, to the right. It doesn't give you much room. Every now and then you get stuck behind somebody who can't even come close to the speed limit. But you try not to let it bother you too much. When you see them signal, you feel good. Unless, of course, you're going the same way. And it's a single lane road. Single lane roads, passing is prohibited. As we come around this curve, we once again see the wrath of Esaias. The tree here fell right between the two houses. Took out the fence, but went right between the two houses. We'll resume our lane changing in just a moment. So back onto the main road, where we will continue practicing our lane changing. No sign for no turn on red, so we'll move up. On the right, we see that this traffic light is photo enforced, so we use caution as we approach. About a half mile up the road, we'll be faced with a situation where the sign on the right tells us that the left lane is ending. We will be in the left lane, so it will be our responsibility to make sure that we safely move from right to left, from left to right. It's to be a funeral on the left. Policeman's funeral as we hear the bagpipes. And even though we have a green light, they are stopping the traffic. Looking on the right, we see the sign for left lane ends. The signal, and make sure that we move over before the dotted lines come to an end. The dotted lines always indicate 2 lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. When the dotted lines come to an end, the lane ends. back out onto the main road, where once again we will see a sign that tells us the right lane is ending. Photo enforced light. They're all over the place, so watch for them. Focusing on the right hand side, we see the yellow sign that's warning us that the right lane is ending. Remember, when you see a yellow sign, it always means something is happening up ahead. There's a right lane ending. And thank you for everybody that was just kind of hanging out there. Don't usually get that lucky at that particular spot. Always let the pedestrian go. Yellow sign telling us that we can either go right or left. Full T corner where there are no signs on any side. And remember, anytime it's a T corner, always give the right of way to the cars that are in the T, unless, of course, you don't have a stop sign and you're the turning car. Another T corner. And that concludes classes numbers 3 and 4.